Eric. Who's late? Me? I had to bring my son back to his dad's and to work. So, late start for me this morning. Hello, hello. How you doing? That was the last of my coffee because I drank it earlier. Bring, bring, bring. You need to go outside. Hold on. Yeah. I don't know. I just came on 3 minutes ago, so maybe they need to get some time to get in. But I am later than usual. Usually I've been on for a couple hours already, ish. But I had to shuttle the child. Ooh, tickly nose, tickly. Hey, Sunny, how are you doing? I was just sending a message to somebody. Um, Somebody that I know through church apparently has guinea pigs, and a few months ago had babies. Is again pregnant, but they're still waiting. They're like, no babies yet, no babies yet, no babies yet. And I asked how old the guinea pig is, and she said a year old. That gets to the dangerous point because at that age, their pelvic bones start to fuse together. And I said, if you continue it, if you are just continuing to wait on babies and nothing is happening, and you think it by now that it should, there's a very possibility that she just physically can't give birth to those babies because she can't get them past. She can't birth them naturally when her pelvic bones have closed. Um, which could kill her because her body is going to want to expel those babies, and her body also is not going to allow it. I said she will need to actually have a C-section by an experienced exotic vet, um, which is not going to be cheap. And I know these people aren't made out of money. Um, so I'm kind of worried about this guinea pig. Hi. Here in a little bit, I need to do after my stream, I need to do my next video for my breeding series. I tried to do it earlier and they were not following my script. I wanted to show you some of the babies, like reach in and take out so you could see close up some of these babies, because there have been changes. And mom and dad both decided to be in the nest and not allow me to stick my fingers in. So, because I was trying to take out little babies and mom and dad were getting in my way. So I want to redo the video. I was like, okay, they're just not cooperating right now. We will let them be and let them do their thing, and then I'll try again later. Yeah, a year old is really reaching the limit of when they can safely give birth. And yeah. So, I mean, if she safely gave birth a few months ago, that's fine. But in that few months, her pelvic bones have been fusing. So they may end up with an issue with this pregnancy. So, that kind of worries me. Kind of worries me. Yeah, guinea pigs can safely give birth between 6 to 10 months of age. After that, it kind of gets dicey. Their pelvic bones start to fuse together, and if they get pregnant, it can kill them because when their body is ready to give birth, they can't physically do it. So that's what I'm concerned about with this particular pregnancy in this guinea pig. Hey, average girl. Hey, Fo. How are you doing? A lady that goes to my church, they apparently have a pregnant female guinea pig, and she's had babies in the past, like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, whatever it was. And she's pregnant again, and I've been seeing on Facebook, still waiting for babies, still waiting for babies. So apparently she's due, but she isn't giving birth. Um, but I asked, how old is she? And do you know how old she is? And she said that she's a year old. That's technically too old to be giving birth to babies unless they're assisted by a vet, which means C-section. Because between after 10 months of age, it is risky on the mom, because as guinea pigs get older, their pelvic bones fuse together, and she wouldn't be able to physically birth these babies on her own, which is dangerous. If she doesn't have assistance, it'll kill her, because her body is going to want to give birth to these babies, yet physically unable to do so. Yeah, a year old is all old. 6 to 10 months is the safest birthing time for a guinea pig. After that, it's risky, and a year and older is like a death sentence to that mom without a C-section. And even that, putting her under anesthetic to give a C-section is still dangerous for the mom, because they're such small animals. Surgeries are risky. So, yeah, I'm kind of concerned. It just, a red flag popped up in my mind when they were just talking about waiting for babies. Um, so I just thought, well, I'll ask. I saw several, over a number of days, still no babies, still waiting for babies, no babies. So I just thought, well, I'll ask to see if they know how old she is. And when she said a year old, I thought, oh no, oh no. So I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully her pelvic bones have been slow to fuse. But if they've been waiting this many days already to see babies because of the gestation period, if days continue to go by and there are no babies, then that's going to tell me that she physically can't do it. Yeah. But the thing is, I know these people aren't well off, and a C-section, a surgery is not going to be cheap. So I'm a little worried. But I did write back and let her know that it is going to be risky, and if more days go by and there are no babies, that this is the problem most likely, and she will have to see a vet so that it doesn't kill her. Wandering Haggis, hello, good morning. It's afternoon now for me. How are you? I'm used to saying good morning because usually my streams are earlier. Get out of the fish tank. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. And I tried to do my mouse breeding video earlier today, and the mice were not following the script. I wanted to pull out certain babies so that you could see changes, and both mom and dad were in the nest and did not want me poking my fingers in. So because my hand was in there and they were sniffing at me, but I was trying to, get in between them to get babies, and they were shoving me out. So, um, so, I thought, well, I'll just give them a rest and try the video again later. It's tea time in Scotland. I would love to visit Scotland. My son's dad is Scottish, so he's got that background. I've got Irish in my family, so I would love to go to Ireland too, but I just want to travel. I just want to travel, period. It's 5 p.m. there. Huh. Yeah, it's 12:17 here. 12:17. I have a feeling because Ian likes to tease me, my son likes to tease me about when I got the mice. He's like, "You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to fall in love with them and you're not going to be able to sell them as feeders." But I literally showed him a couple of the babies yesterday and he went, "Aw." So, I mean, come on now. Am I the only, like, he's telling me I wouldn't be able to do it? I don't think he'd be able to do it. Ooh. Yeah, well, Ian's got Scottish on his dad's side. I've got Irish on my dad's side, and I've got German on my mom's side. So Ian is Scottish, Irish, German. I'm a mutt. Yep. I think we all are to some degree. And apparently, my husband has Cherokee in his family. You would never know it, but if we were to have a kid, you know, the Scottish wouldn't be there because it's a different family, but um, there would be Irish, German, Cherokee, which is interesting. Yes, you did. Yep. Canadian Scrapper is awesome. She's from my home country, Canada. I'm in the US, but I was born and raised in Canada. Get rid of this banner now. Been live long enough to take the welcome sign down. How is everybody? I'm getting hungry. It's already noon. Of course, I had to send a picture and a little short snippet of a video to my son because he said, I guess he's telling his coworkers about the mice. And now one of the coworkers wants to see the babies. So I took a little bit, I uncovered them. I didn't take out any babies, but I uncovered them because they were all covered up. I moved some of the paper towel scraps so I could see them to take the picture and the little video. And as I was taking the video, mom's pulling paper towel scraps back over them. I'm like, you're again not following the script. I'm fluent in typo, don't worry. Yeah, typos are I think typos are everybody's second language. They're mine. I know that. Especially when I'm upset about something because I more frantically hit buttons and they're not always the correct ones. And then after I send it and I'm like, ah, hopefully they can speak my language. Stop hiding the babies. Exactly. I was like pulling it away. And as I'm recording, she's literally like pulling it back over. She's like, do you mind? Privacy, please. I don't turn autocorrect on for that purpose because that drives me crazy. It hates me. See? We're all fluent. We're all fluent. The whole sentence, sentence. That's funny though. It adds humor to the day. So today I have to today technically I need to do some water changes. I have, because I'm actually like a couple of days behind on my goldfish water changes, and they're even more important because of how dirty they are, the goldfish and the snails. But their water actually doesn't look too bad right now, so I'm kind of impressed with that. So I was like, eh. But I do need to do their water change for sure. That is the big, big, big one. Um, I need to empty a rabbit litter box. I need to feed everybody. So I got some things I got to do today. Tomorrow I am grooming a dog. It never corrects me when I don't want it to, but it never corrects me when I think you mean it never corrects you when you want it to, but it'll correct you when you don't want it to. Is that what you mean? Canadian Scrapper sent my feral cat pictures. I tried 5 times and I got aggravated. I never got Canadian Scrapper's email originally, though. She asked if I got her emails and I didn't. Uh, but I did get yours, Southern Belle. I did get your email. I did. But I don't have hers. So I don't know what's going on with that. It jacked me up on that sentence. I was really tired driving too. At least I didn't have to have him back by 9, because that would have been an even earlier morning, but he had to be there at 11, and I was like drowsy as I was driving. I was like, ugh, I might have to brew some more coffee. I can hear the mice are over by the rabbit enclosure, and I can hear them squeaking. They're so stinking cute. And I am very glad Fo and Average Girl already know this, but I am actually really glad I brought that Pinky home the day before last. Um, because had I not done that, that Pinky would be dead. Like, not dead by feeder, but dead by drowning. So I'm really glad that I decided to bring that baby home. Now that baby can have, a life, because I'm hoping that it's a female so that I have additional moms, because as long as I have multiple moms, I only need one male. But I mean, if I have more than one male, as long as I have multiple moms too, I can spread those males out over females. But I don't need multiple males. What I need is multiple females so that he can make his rounds. I didn't. I haven't got any emails from you. I don't know why. I got Susan's, I got Crystal's, I got Laura's, I got Handy Hudsonite, I got Saucy Annan, I got Evie Bubbles, and that's it. And then I got pictures from Fo and Average Girl through Hangouts. I did not get yours. I don't know why. How you doing? I'm making you a little rescuer's sign. Um, and it doesn't even have to just be mouse rescuers, because hey, look at all the rats I brought home. Rodent rescue. I'm just glad that those moms are getting a chance, because I was really kind of irritated and put off by the way the store manager responded to me. She wasn't even really hearing me out. Just throw them in the feeder bin. I'm like, if they're not fit to feed babies because they might be sick, then they shouldn't be fit to go into the feeder bin, because I don't think anybody would want to feed them to the reptile had they known what went on, and that's not fair. Like, she was like, you don't know if any of the other ones are sick either. Well, no, because I don't know what they've been through before the breeder sent them to us, but we know that these mamas went through something, and that there was a lot of bacteria involved, and they'll probably get sick, and we're going to willingly deceive somebody here to feed them to your reptile. No, I wasn't okay with that. So I'm glad that the kennel manager um, is willing to, take them aside and make sure that they're going to be okay. Yeah, apparently retired mothers get to be feeders, but I wasn't gonna let that happen. If they were gonna actually be feeders, I would have taken them home. But because the kennel manager wants to rehab them, make sure they're gonna be okay, and if they will be okay, they can still be mothers. So if not, I don't even know if she would be, if they do turn out that they're sick, I don't think they'll end up being feeders either. Because if they are actually sick, you can't sit, we wouldn't feed them to the snakes at the store. Why would we sell them as feeders? That's not right. So, but yeah, I'm excited to, if the mice would follow my script, I'm excited to show you the changes in the babies, but they don't want to cooperate right now. They want me to leave them alone. I mean, I can tell you, and then you just have to wait and see with your own eyes, but know what's going on. I mean, I can tell you what's going on, and then you just have to wait to see it with your own eyes, because it's still exciting, but I wanted to just be like, look, surprise! But they're not cooperating. We need to talk about this. Oh my goodness. I like my yawn. Um, might have to brew some more coffee for myself. Goodness. They need breaks too, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I need a nap. Seriously. But, I did have a really long day yesterday. I started work at 9 o'clock. The shift was over at 7, and then we had a staff meeting. So by the time I got home, it was after 8:30. I'm like, So do you guys want to hear what the changes are and then just wait to see them? Or do you just want to plain wait to see them in my breeding video? Because I'm going to make the breeding video anyway, but you can at least get a sneak here instead of sneak peek. You got to fold clothes and start editing. Yes, she wants to know. So, her original babies are getting more hair. It's more noticeable. So they're very young fuzzies now. Very, very young fuzzies. Um, you could tell they're turning white. It's just you could still see their skin through their hair. But they do have hair. It's just not as thick as the fuzzies themselves. And out of the 4 fuzzies I brought home, 3 of them were older. I had a younger fuzzy, where the hair isn't as bushy or, as long. And at least two, I want to look at the other ones. At least 2 of them are definitely older fuzzies, because yesterday I pulled one of them out, and I showed Ian, and I was like, they just wander around the cage. They can't see anything, but they wander. And he was like, "What do you mean they can't see?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Their eyes are closed." And then I looked at it. They're starting to open their eyes. One at a time. One eye is starting to just start opening. The other one is still closed, but they're starting to open their eyes. So they are on the verge of being hoppers, which is really exciting. So I'm excited to show you guys. We got fuzzies, pinkies turning into fuzzies. We've got fuzzies turning into hoppers. Oh my goodness. I'm excited. But when I did bring them home, they did not have any eyes open. So just over the night, for the 24 hours or whatever, the 2 of them at least out of the 4 are starting to open their eyes. So, and once they get out of the hopper stage, I need to put them in a different bin, because I'm hearing controversial information, and you don't want them to breed too early, if they're a mixture of sexes. But I've heard that they're about 5 to 8 weeks old, they're sexually mature. But then I've also heard at 4 weeks they can get pregnant. So I'm like, well, if they're not sexually mature, I don't know how that happens. But if those fuzzies are becoming hoppers now, they're about 2 weeks old, give or take, some days. So in a couple of weeks, I will have to start separating them if they are different sexes. So I'm gonna have to get me some bins, because in the next couple of weeks I'm gonna have to start, once they're through the hopper stage, they'll be weaned, and I'll have to start separating them. Mice live for about 2 years. They don't have a long life. My cats love mice too. Yeah. Shadow stares at them. When I take the cage down, because it's up high right now because of Brinley, but when I take it down on the table to do my video or, whatever, Shadow just sits there and stares at them. At least bins can be stacked and, whatever. And I've thought about doing the drawers. There has been some concern about whether or not they can fit through the top, if they get to the top of the drawer, if they can fit between. But somebody that uses that system said if they are clean, if their drawer is clean, if it's big enough, if it's clean, if if they're happy in there, they don't feel the need to try and get out. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Or I can just do like the bin that I had before, put wire mesh on the lid, like cut out a hole in the lid, put the wire mesh, and then just stack them. The space for breeding the mice is going to be easier than if I was to do rats. There would be, because they're bigger, they would need even larger spaces. So at least they can be stacked up. Yeah, Brinley just loves those. Like, I'm sure she'd love to swallow them whole and use them as chew toys, and then they'd be dead. But she's like the cat. She'll stare. She'll get as close as she can. Her tail going a mile a minute, because the squeaking and the movement drives her crazy. I mean, I'm sitting here about 5 or 6 feet, away from the mouse cage and I can hear them squeaking. So as you can imagine with dogs having better hearing, she's going to be over there wanting to see them really bad. You guys can't hear them, I'm sure, but I can hear them. It's raining, but the sun's shining. Sun showers! Sun showers! Yeah, her tail just. And earlier, when I was trying to do the breeding video, Shadow was sitting right at the cage, and she actually smacked it with, because she could see them in the corner, and she was smacking it with her foot. And I'm like, nah. I actually had to say something in the video because you could hear the noise of her smacking the cage. But I've scrapped the video now because the mice weren't following my script. Yeah, I can email you. I'll definitely do that. In fact, I'll do that as we're speaking. All right. All right. Hopefully you'll get this. It's a simple, just so that you have it. I'm like, hey. But yeah, yesterday I went into work and there was a feeder mouse disaster. I didn't notice it. Was that necessary? I didn't notice it right away because I don't look at the bins when I first show up because I know I've got several things to do with the dogs. But I was about to go out onto the sales floor to get food dishes so I could feed the dogs on the floor. And I noticed that the Pinky Mouse bin was oddly looking weird. The color of it was weird. And I walked over to it and realized it was completely full of water. So had I not brought that Pinky home the night before, that Pinky would have drowned. We had no other Pinkies in there, thankfully. Yes, we're out of Pinkies. So people don't get to buy any Pinkies from work for their snakes until Friday. But even if we had Pinkies left, we would not have them now because they would have drowned. Yeah, she is. Are you making your hammock? Is that what you're doing? Um, so yeah, if we had Pinkies left, we wouldn't anymore because they'd be dead. But my concern was there were 3 moms in that bin. Even though the Pinkies were gone, we still have the moms because we don't always, when we get new Pinkies, they don't always send us moms. So we need to save these moms so that they can take care of the Pinkies when we get a new shipment. So there were 3 moms in that bin, and I was like, oh no, they're dead. They're dead. I thought, I'm going to pull that bin out of the rack carefully because it was very full. And I'm going to see 3 floating moms. I pulled it out and I see very frantic dog paddling moms. They were trying so hard to stay above water. I'm shocked. I don't even know how many hours they had to constantly swim to keep from sinking below the surface of the water. I put the bin down immediately and took them out. The water was freezing. It was filthy, obviously, between the bedding and the feces and the pee and everything that was in that water, they're swimming in. I took them out. I put them in one of the empty bins. And then I immediately went to the rack along the wall by the washer and dryer, grabbed a hand towel, threw it in the dryer, warmed that up, and then wrapped them in that because they're soaking wet, they're freezing, and I wrapped them in a hot towel. I was really concerned that they were either going to die of hypothermia. Well, at that point, that was my concern, dying of hypothermia. So I wanted to warm them up. That was my main. No email. What is going on? And you're using Gmail and I'm using Gmail. So maybe Gmail is having a little fit. I'll try it again. But my immediate concern was warming them up. Hey, Eric. And hey, Tasha, how are you doing? So after I felt like, they were drying off a little bit, wrapped in the towel, then one of the managers that works in the fish area suggested putting them in a small, like a 10 gallon fish tank, but it has a screen on the top, and then putting a heat lamp on it. So that's what I did because we need to keep them warm. Well, then after I knew that they were warming up, it was my main concern that after they warmed up, I was less worried about that, but more worried about the fact that they are going to get sick because they were just swimming in bacteria for who knows how long. So now the issue is, are they going to even be okay to still be able to nurse, or are they going to get sick? Originally the store manager was like, throw them in with the feeders, and I was like, well, if they're not going to be healthy enough to nurse pinkies because the pinkies would get sick and we can't sell sick pinkies, why would we put them in the feeders? Because they could still be sick and then we'd be feeding them to reptiles, and then that's just not right. But then the kennel manager said that she wanted to rehab them, so they're set aside. We're going to monitor them, make sure that they're not going to get sick. If they're not going to be sick, they can go back to being nursing moms. Otherwise, they'll just be retired because we can't sell them if they're sick as feeders. We can't. I was going to take them home yesterday, but she wants to make sure that they're going to be okay, and that's fine. Yeah, it was just, I'm surprised that they were alive. Hello, Snobby. How are you doing? You have puppies. Yay, puppies. I love puppies. So for anybody that just came in, I was rambling about mice. I am on the beginnings of a journey of breeding mice as feeders, because there is a feeder shortage for reptiles. Um, so I'm starting that little journey, and we had a bit of a feeder crisis at work yesterday morning. So that's what I was just talking about. Miss Canadian Scrapper will be live tonight. Make sure to check her out. Go Texas. I've been to Texas, but only one time, and only for a couple of days. Saw that at the pet store I work at is the only pet store in my city. And my city's fairly big, and we've got chain pet stores. We've got PetSmart. We've got multiple PetSmarts. We've got multiple Petcos. We've got other smaller chains. We are the only store, and we're not across the U.S. We are only in Indiana, but we are the only store in my city that sells live feeders, and we're out of pinkies. We're almost out of hoppers. We've got some fuzzies. We run out. We get new ones in every week, but we just got our shipment Friday, and Saturday we were completely out of pinkies already. 3 hoppers left. Last week, 2 days after we got the shipment, we were completely out of everything. And people were coming in every day looking for feeders, and we had to say, I'm sorry, we don't have any more. They're gone. So there is a demand for feeders. As reptiles get more popular to own as pets, feeders need to be had, and there is a shortage. So I thought, hey, a breeding pair of mice just happened to fall into my lap. So I've since taken some babies from work, which I feel like um, well, 2 of them were these breeding pairs babies, but I've taken some fuzzies since we had more fuzzies than anything else. I took 4 fuzzies home or whatever. They are raising them. I'm trying to get myself established so that I can start breeding and providing those things that we have a shortage on. Where in Indiana? I am about 2 hours from Indianapolis, 3 hours from Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, I've heard that from people saying that it's hard for them to transition. If the snakes were raised on live, it's hard to change them back over. It's hard to change them over. That's what I have heard. Yeah, I'm I'm an adopted in Hoosier. I'm actually born and raised Canadian. I was born and raised in Canada, but in '99 I moved here and have been here since. And I know, I mean, there's one time we actually ran out of some frozen, but we usually always have frozen left. So the desperate people that need live will get frozen. Just crap, the dog scared me. Will get frozen because they're desperate and to see if their snake will eat it. But I definitely can't. I'm one that if I had a reptile to feed, I'd have to feed frozen thawed. As breeding, I have to provide them live because I wouldn't have the heart to kill them to offer them frozen. So, it's and I'm gonna have a hard enough time selling them live because I get attached. I love animals and it breaks my heart to especially the babies. I'm like, I'm sorry. You, you don't even get to see the world and now you're dead. It's hard, but I know that there's that demand and snakes have to eat. So I haven't lived in Indiana for about 26 years. Yeah, I've been here since '99. Um, and born and raised. I left Canada when I was 23. So I've received an email from my local pet store asking if there was anyone breeding them to bring them in because but where do you live, Tasha? Because I totally like I would love to be able to if the pet store I work at would buy them from me, if I could supply, some and they could buy them from me, I would love to do that. At this point I'll probably be just, private because pet store feeders they mark them up. They're more expensive. Mice still sound like they're fairly reasonable. I think our adult live mice are 2.99, but 2.99. Whereas if you get them from a private breeder, they're going to be cheaper because they don't have to mark them up for profit because pet stores have to buy them from the breeder and then mark them up to make a profit. So they're going to be more expensive at a chain pet store or any pet store. Getting them from the breeder directly is cheaper. So that's, I think, more what I want to do too. Because I'm not going to be I'm not going to be such a large breeder that I have a warehouse and I have, you know, 80 bins of breeders or anything like that. I'm going to be more small scale. I'm doing this out of my house. So I'd have to be more of a private breeder and just, let people know that have reptiles, hey, I have these. You feed those frozen thaw. Yeah, apparently it is a big issue because I was starting to notice even the rats that we would get in for feeders, how much smaller they are. The small ones are tiny, they're the size of large mice. The medium ones are like larger smalls. The medium or the large ones are technically medium, and we have had customers complain that the large ones aren't big enough, but that's all we're getting sent. They're rushing them out because of the shortage. And then we don't get very many either, so we run out quickly as well. So yeah, it is a big issue. Cats would destroy. Well, see, I have cats. I have I have animals that are very, very drawn to the squeaking and the movement and all of that, but I just have to keep bins up and away from them. And if I to make my videos, dog is not present. She's in kennel. Cat just can't get to them. Oh yeah, that's right. You're in Texas. Dang. I knew that. I it was in the chat earlier because I'm just stupid. Too far away for me to provide any. Check Hangouts. I don't know if I have you in Hangouts, do I? Because I don't have anything in Hangouts. If you want to add me to Hangouts, that email that you emailed me pictures to is the email for my Hangouts as well. You're going to raise crickets again? See, I thought about doing crickets as well, but we don't have a shortage on those. We've got plenty of those. Every week, we get a few thousand. We get a few thousand, and anybody who wants, we sell them by the dozen, and anyone who wants more than 100 at a time has to special order. So, yeah, there's not as big of a demand. I mean, there's a demand for those, but we never run out. Even with the amount that we have, because when I clean them out every week, I have to clean out the crickets every Saturday at work. There's always multiple dead ones in there, but we never run out we still have like a whole pile of them. We still probably have thousands in there. And then I'm adding more. So we never run out of crickets. They do die fast. They do die fast, but we've never run out. And we've got large ones, medium ones, and small ones. Sometimes there are small ones mixed in with the mediums or whatever, because I have a feeling that they're still breeding in there because they're mixed genders. So when I was cleaning up the medium ones, I was seeing tiny little pinhead crickets in there, and I'm like, how'd you make it in there? Well, they were probably born in there. You just never know. Yeah, my husband said, you told me at work when you're cleaning the crickets that they're always escaping. And I'm like, yeah, but that's why if I was going to breed them at home, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't clean them out in the house. Are you crazy? I would be in the garage or I would be just outside. If they escape out there, they won't survive. They're not like wild crickets. They can't live on their own. Um, they would die before their life cycle is even over. They wouldn't be able to eat. They wouldn't be, they would never survive. I love listening to them. Like that's one thing at work because the ones that have escaped even, I'll be doing my stuff and I can hear crickets. I love it. They're peaceful. They're peaceful sounding. They give me the heebie-jeebies. I hate, even now, and all the time that I've been cleaning them out, I still wear a glove. And when any of them jump on my bare skin, I'm like, ah! I always, like, some of my coworkers laugh at me because they'll be coming back, and then in the meantime, I'm going, ah! Get off me! Because they do also bite. If you leave them sitting on you, they will bite. They bite. So I would rather not be bitten. Yeah, it's funny to me around here because growing up in Canada, it gets pretty dang cold where I grew up. So I laugh. It's not to say that it doesn't get cold here. It does, especially when you're used to when you have to deal with the summers. And our summers aren't even as hot as yours, but it gets pretty hot here still. And so when it gets cold, I'm like, oh, but I still laugh because some people are like, it's so bitter cold. And I'm like inwardly, I'm laughing my butt off because it's not bitter cold. They don't know what bitter cold is until they've been in Canada. So, it's cold, yes. Bitter cold, no. And, it's kind of like I'm laughing at the people around here, like the people around here will laugh at the people in Florida who say it's 50 degrees, I'm freezing, and we're like 50, we would be in short sleeves, you know. It's because of the weather that you're used to. No, yeah, it's not cold. I've had heat stroke. It isn't fun. It is not fun. I did not feel well. It was oof. I hope to never have to go through that again. I had to go I went through that experience of heat stroke because we were in the Oklahoma area and our car broke down. And it was about 105 degrees. And I think that was, I don't know if that was before or after the heat index, but nonetheless, 105 degrees, sun beating down, and we were stuck on the side of the road for 5 hours. Yep, it was not pretty. I'm in tank tops and shorts in the winter here. Yeah, see, and some people do that. I've seen some people in the winter here. They're like wearing shorts, or I'm like, are you crazy? It's too cold for that. 2016 Christmas Day. Really? 80 degrees on. Wow. We don't get to do ugly Christmas sweaters. We do ugly Christmas t-shirts. That's hilarious. Oh. Oh, no AC in your truck. Oh no, yeah. That's not good. Yeah, when you have a heat intolerance, ooh, yeah. Not good, not good. So funny that I'm just when I'm sitting here quiet, I can hear the mice. It's just it's so cute. Just this tiny little high pitched squealing, squeaking. And they're not annoyingly squeaky. Like they're not disturbing. They're not disturbing. It's cute actually. It's like the mouse equivalent to having a guinea pig that squeaks, but these are quieter. Oh, menopause too. Oh Lord, have mercy, you poor girl. Heat intolerance with fibromyalgia and menopause. I'd die. Yeah, we have heat intolerance and we are native to Yeah. I remember when I first moved here to Indiana, the first summer I was here, I couldn't even eat. I didn't feel good. I would be hungry, but then I wouldn't have an appetite for anything. I didn't feel good when I would eat because I was just way too uncomfortable. It was too hot for me because I was used to my Canada summers where 70 was the norm without humidity. That's what I was used to. And then I came here to 80s and 90s and sometimes 100, the humidity. And I'm like, I was dying. I was dying. I can eat now. I'm over that, but it's still too hot. Like, I can't be out in the humidity and I feel like I'm drowning. I feel like I'm in a sauna. Sell Japanese hand fans at the Dollar Tree. I promise they're worth keeping on you at all times. Yeah, I like those fans too. They're really pretty. I need to bring like an actual box fan, like an electric box fan to work because the kennel that I'm working in is so hot. I was only sitting, filling out paperwork, cutting toenails, and I was sweating. And I'm like, I haven't even done any physical work yet, and I was sweating. It's not right. Yep. Humid heat just is gross. Yep. Oh, you guys. Should my feelings be hurt? I got two thumbs down. They haven't gotten the point yet. It's not it's not going to negatively affect me emotionally or YouTube wise or channel wise. It's not going to affect me negatively. Why bother? Move on if you don't like it. Just move on. Why do you got to make such a petty statement? I don't understand. It just shows your immaturity that that's what you do. Because when I don't like a video, I will move on. And if it's just that you don't like the person, what? How old are you? 6? Move on. It just shows your immaturity. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know who's doing it, but if you're in here lurking, it just shows your immaturity. As you become one with the pleather. That's a, my parents have a leather couch, and I just it's fine for there. But if I had it here, I would never. My skin would rip off. I would never be able to wear shorts again. My skin would rip off my body and stick to the couch. I swear. And I, I want to be comfortable, not like stuck to my furniture. Yes, showers. Well, I've taken nice cool showers when I've been real sweaty, but then just even the motions of getting out of the shower, drying off, getting redressed. I'm like, okay, now I'm dressed and I feel like I gotta go back into the shower. It's too, when it's that hot, it's, ugh, I should cry. I want to still be in high school. Hey, Jenny. I want to look 16 again, but not with the same attitude as, yeah. I I've watched, like, I've observed I've observed I can't even speak. Observed teenagers when I'm at the mall or whatever, and I'm like, did I really act like that? I'm ashamed of myself because it's ridiculous. And even just, my daughter when she was a teenager, I was like, their relationships are so petty. Like, you could be best friends with somebody one day, and the next day you can't stand each other. And then maybe 2 weeks later, you're best friends again. I'm like, I can't even. It makes my head hurt. It makes my head hurt. I hear you, Jenny. I have to go and brew myself some more coffee. I had my coffee already, and I'm tired. I have dog hair everywhere. I have to sweep up all the time because it's so hot. The dogs are constantly, yeah. I get the dog hair. I get rabbit hair. The rabbits molt. So when summer was coming around, the rabbits were like, their hair was coming out in tufts. There was a lot of hair. You still get carded. I occasionally will as well. I'm like, well, thank you. But sometimes they are required to card you because they've carded my mother, and she was like, and I'm like, don't get too impressed with that and like heartfelt, because they have to or they can get fired. it is a it is a requirement. Yeah, wishy-washy, fickle people. I can't stand fickle people. Yeah, I'll have a beer, I'll have a wine cooler, I'll have, but I always stick to two. I don't overdo it. I just usually stick to two, three at most, depending on what it is, and call it a night. You know, I like to remember, what I'm enjoying. Whether, I don't like to black out and be like, what did I do yesterday? How stupid was I acting? You know, yes, you get carded now for cold meds. I had sent my son to the store when I was sick to pick up NyQuil. And he came back and he was like, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm not old enough. And I'm like, oh, yeah, because there's alcohol in NyQuil. He couldn't buy it for me. I was like, dang it. He couldn't buy it for me. And I was like, I forgot about that. Yes. Yes. You have to, if you're checking out, they will ask for your ID, especially if you look young. They will ask for your ID on cold medicine that has alcohol in it. Because people that are desperate, alcoholics, if they're desperate, they will get it any way that they can. And that's going to include uh, cold meds. So, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I don't want to still be yawning. You had to sign a list? Oh, man. I can hear my little mouses. I can hear them talking. I can understand Sudafed, but NyQuil. But come on, I look like I'm in my 40s and I'm 30. And the cashier's 16. Yeah, they can sell it, but you can't buy it. Yeah, I got too many gray hairs too. I'm way overdue to cover them up with some hair dye. What am I going to do with one pack of meds, right? Can't get, well, I guess if you're too young and you swallow the whole bottle, that could be not good, but, you know, Lucille Ball, vitamin to Vegemin. She got drunk on a few tablespoons of that. Do you pop out at parties? Are you unpopular? Lucy ruined it for all of us, right? She abused the cold medicine. And that wasn't even cold medicine. That was just take your dose daily to be healthy. It's got uh I gotta remember the spiel. I've known it. Like I had it off by heart. Vegetables and minerals. If you drink a lot of it, it makes you hallucinate. I don't use a spoon or the little medicine cup. I just take a mouthful when I take it. It's if we have a bottle of NyQuil, usually one of us is sick. That bottle of NyQuil is ours. I just drink right out of the bottle. I'm like, got my mouthful. That's my dose. Vita Vegemin. I love Lucy. I've got all the seasons and all the episodes on DVD. Gotta get housework done so my nephew stops bullying me. Don't let your nephew bully you. Ooh. He wants to play Minecraft. Yeah, he wants you to get off of there so that he can play games. One of the active ingredients. You've been on YouTube all day. I probably would have been on it longer, but I had to be on the road earlier. I usually start my live streams earlier, but I had a little bit of a later start today. All right, Tasha, have a good day. For everybody that is leaving, have a good day. And don't forget, today is the last day for sending me pictures of your pets so that I can put them in a compilation video. Oh no. You can fold clothes and chat at the same time. I have my email in my description. Hey, Squeakies, I hear you. Oh, your sister's name is Tanya. Cool. Whew. I have a friend named Tanya. A lot of people call her Tanya, but she was like, no, it's the Tanya. All right, Tasha, have a great day. Take care. Oh my goodness. I may, even though I've only been live for like a little over an hour, I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap it up myself. I want to make some more coffee, for one, but then I still need to do my breeding video. I need to feed everybody. I need to feed myself because I haven't eaten anything yet today. I need to empty a cat litter box. I need to do water changes. I got a lot to do today on my day off. Because tomorrow, I can't save it all for tomorrow because I got to groom a dog tomorrow. It should be in my description. When you look in my description, there'll be how to support the channel, PayPal. I have merch store, promo code, and then email and Instagram. It's also in the about section, yes. But it's in the description for this video as well. Yep, I can post the email. There it is. I'll see if I can get the mice to cooperate with me for my video. Don't want to miss any days because apparently one day makes a big difference. I mean, I brought Fuzzies home with eyes closed, and the next day they're opening them. So I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss any days. Since we got 5 people in here, who's all in here besides Average Girl and Foe? I know Tasha is leaving. Who else is here? Oh, that's better. The lighting changes. Not as dark. Quiet in here. All right. They are cute little nuggets. Yeah. They're like you said, little packing peanuts. All right. Well, I am going to wrap it up. Oh, and I know she's feeding that newest Pinky because I have seen the milk in the belly. She's a good mama. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. I will work on my breeding day video, and then later tonight I will start compiling the pet video. And yeah, I got some things I got to do today. So otherwise, yeah, yeah. Otherwise, I will see you in tomorrow's morning stream, and I won't be able to be around for hours tomorrow because I'll have to prepare for the dog I'm grooming, which their appointment is at 1. So it's not going to be an extremely long stream tomorrow, but I'll still be here. So hope everybody has a good day, and I will talk with all of you later. Bye.